on, folks? Chad Williams, aka Rationalresponder here. Now, as you may remember, I made a previous video about the laws of logic. I made a call to atheists, naturalists, those that believe that all there is the natural world. There's nothing beyond it. There's no supernatural. And I asked the question about logic. Logic, is it immaterial or material? Is logic changing or unchanging? And is logic universal or not? Now, I had a reply by a gentleman that I can only go by the name Boony on his YouTube channel, and so Boony has a response. So let's go ahead and play his response.
Alright, Rationalresponder, I hope that you can hear me. I'll try to make this more to the point. But to answer your questions, is logic material, immaterial? It's both. Okay. Is logic both changing or unchanging? It's both. And is logic universal or not universal? Well, I believe that logic would be universal as long as there is a conscious mind to perceive logic and to utilize logic. But other than that, then it wouldn't be universal. So once again, the answer is both. So I don't think the answers to your questions are as black and white as you would like to think, but that's common with most religionists.
Okay, so there you have it. There's the sum total of Boony's response to my questions about the nature of logic. So why don't we go back to his first response about whether logic is material or immaterial and expand on that a little bit.
Is logic material, immaterial? It's both. Okay.
Alright, now this was actually a quite interesting response because you see Boony here affirms that the laws of logic are both immaterial and material. Now, as a Christian, I would contend that the laws of logic are immaterial and there's nothing more to it than that. As a Christian, I can account for the laws of logic as God is immaterial, or God is spirit, as we see in John 4:24. So my worldview as a Christian has accountability. It has justification for using these immaterial laws because they are the reflection of an immaterial God. Now, my question to you, Boony, is twofold. Number one, how do you account for immaterial laws of logic, considering that you are an atheist naturalist? You believe that all there is the natural world. There is no such thing as immaterial. As I see it, you actually have to borrow from a Christian worldview. You have to stand on Christian ground in order to even get off the ground to use these laws of logic. So, as an atheist, how do you account for these immaterial laws of logic? And on the other hand, you say that logic is material. Well, how do you account for logic being material? You cannot touch a law of logic. You can't accidentally swallow a law of logic, or as the astrophysicist Dr. Jason Lyle would have it, logic is not made of atoms. It does not occupy a location in space. So I would challenge you, if you believe that the laws of logic are made of material, can you please produce for me or any of the viewers a material law of logic, a concrete example? I would contend that you can't do so, but I would appreciate it. If you think you can, please have at it.
Is logic both changing or unchanging? It's both.
Okay, folks, so there you have it again. Boony, in the one hand, affirms that the laws of logic are unchanging, and in the other hand, he says that they are changing. Now, as I see this is a contradiction. As a Christian, I would affirm that the laws of logic are unchanging, and I have accountability and justification for this in my worldview, as God does not change, Malachi 3:6. So my question to you, Boony, would be, how is it that you account for the one hand, these laws of logic being unchanging, when you believe that we ultimately are the byproduct? As an atheist, you believe we're the byproduct of a cosmic accident of change. And in the other hand, how is it that you affirm that the laws of logic are changing? For instance, the law of non-contradiction. Would you hold that the law of non-contradiction once never was, that there was a time when I could have had a $5 bill in my wallet and not in my wallet at the same time and in the same sense? This just doesn't comport with reality. So I would press you to please give an example of where the laws of logic once applied then didn't apply. Please show a change in the laws of logic, how a law of logic might apply on a Monday and on a Wednesday. It doesn't. You simply don't live your life this way, Boony, so please just, be honest. If you went to the bank with a $100 bill and you went to go break it and the bank teller gave you back 50 bucks in change, you'd be quite upset. You wouldn't be very open to the possibility that those laws of logic that govern math changed.
And is logic universal or not universal? Well, I believe that logic would be universal as long as there is a conscious mind to perceive logic and to utilize logic. But other than that, then it wouldn't be universal. So, once again, the answer is both.
Okay, and so here we have it again. Boony affirms that the laws of logic are, in one hand, universal, and in the other hand, they're not universal. Now, I, as a Christian, would maintain in my Christian worldview that the laws of logic are universal, and I have justification for this because God is universal, or otherwise known as omnipresent. Justification for that, Psalm 139, verses 7 through 10, just one scripture reference. Now, my question to Boony would be, how does he have justification for laws of logic that are universal, and in the other hand, they're not universal? Especially this not universal portion of it. I would like to bring up again that example of a $5 bill being in my wallet and not in my wallet at the same time and in the same sense. Boony, is there anywhere that you could take me, that you could point out to me or any of the other viewers, where it would be possible for this law of non-contradiction to not apply? If it doesn't apply universally, please give us a concrete example. What planet would we be standing on, or what portion of the earth would we be standing on where we could break this law of non-contradiction and where it wouldn't universally apply, where I could have a $5 bill in my wallet and not in my wallet at the same time and in the same sense? Alright, so in summation, we've gone through the laws of logic. We've only scratched the surface, asking the question, are the laws of logic immaterial or material? Are they changing or unchanging? Are they universal or not? Now, as a Christian, in my Christian worldview, I would maintain that the laws of logic are immaterial. I have justification for this as God is spirit, John 4:24. I would maintain that the laws of logic are unchanging. I have justification for this as God is unchanging, Malachi 3:6. And I would maintain that the laws of logic are universal because God is universal, or otherwise known as omnipresent, Psalm 139, verses 7 through 10. So I see a couple of issues here for the atheist materialist, especially in Boony's case, because he affirms likewise that the laws of logic are immaterial, unchanging, and apply universally in one hand. And in the other hand, he affirms that the laws of logic are material, that they are changing, and that they are not universal. So, Boony, what we're looking for from you is justification. How is it that you, as an atheist naturalist, one that believes that all there is material in the world, how do you account, how do you justify for immaterial laws of logic? And can you please produce a material law of logic, one that maybe someone could accidentally swallow, one that's made of atoms? Can we pull it out of the refrigerator? What's 5 pounds of logic look like? And again, the laws of logic being unchanging, how is it that you account for unchanging laws of logic, considering that you would believe that we are the byproduct of change? And on the flip side to that, how is it that you account for laws of logic that are changing, as I and none of the other viewers that I'm aware of have ever noticed the law of non-contradiction making any changes? It applies Monday through Friday and on the weekends as well. If you believe that it is changing, can you please produce for us an example of this? And again, the laws of logic, how is it that you account that they are universal, that they apply everywhere, and on the other hand, you say that they don't necessarily apply everywhere. A big question for you on this one is, because you believe that a mind is important on this one, and I believe there's always been a mind, that God has always existed. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. My question, I suppose, to you is, do you believe that the universe could have both existed and not existed at the same time and in the same sense before human beings showed up? So there you have it, Boony. I feel that you've got your hands full there, and these might seem like, heavy questions. Hey man, just to be straight with you, there was a time when I didn't even care about logic whatsoever. That was about 3 years ago. A lot of these things are new to me. I've learned in study, and so I would hope that you would look at these laws of logic, consider what I'm saying, test it out, see if what I'm saying is true. I would suggest that there's no shame in revising some of the things that you have said. I've revised many of the things that I've said in the past as I've been given more knowledge. This isn't a debate, me against you, brother, not whatsoever. I actually do really care about you, and I do want to share with you these truths that I have found, and just hope that you take these things into consideration, and consider the Christian worldview, as these things like the laws of logic, they only make sense in the Christian worldview. That without the Christian worldview, you really can't make sense of them whatsoever. You can't justify it for immaterial, unchanging, and universal laws of logic. So, Boony, I hope that this finds you well, and I hope this is possibly a good training material for other Christians that are out there. I hope that it provokes some thought, and I hope to maybe dig a little bit deeper into these laws of logic in future videos, as we are only scratching the surface. So, take care. God bless everybody. Bye.